Hello American people, I'm your Treasury Secretary. Maybe you've been wondering, what's a guy like me doing in a job like this? The cabinet office originally held by Alexander Hamilton. Simple answer. Private sector, public sector, guys like me are gonna be looking out for guys like me. Guys with more wealth and power than they could possibly need or deserve. It's not that different from my job at Goldman Sachs in the 90s. When I got stupidly rich peddling insanely complicated mortgage-backed securities. You know, the crazy stuff that wound up tanking the economy. Or in 2008, when I capitalized on the carnage by buying a busted bank on the cheap, carrying out tens of thousands of foreclosures, and then, thanks to the magic of government loss insurance, I turned a personal profit on the deal of $100 million give or take. My first cabinet mission was to roll back the Dodd-Frank financial reforms and undo the Volcker rule. That way, banks like the one I used to run, or a bank I might someday run in the future, can go right on making gazillions of dollars through reckless bets with government-guaranteed funds. My department was also in charge of implementing the 2017 tax cuts. That gave me a chance to help my old pal the junk bond king and convicted inside trader Michael Mnuchin get in on the Opportunity Zone program for disadvantaged communities. Thanks to our efforts, a boatload of the benefits of that program wound up going to people like Mnuchin and Chris Christie and Anthony Scaramucci. And Jared Kushner. Another old friend of mine by the way. More recently, we got tasked with parceling out billions in pandemic relief. And making sure a heap of it went into the pockets of Wall Street fund managers and megacorporations already sitting on mountains of cash. I've taken flack for some of this stuff. I'm no stranger to criticism. My bank evicted a 103-year-old woman for missing a single payment on her homeowner's insurance. We changed the locks on a Minnesota family in the middle of a blizzard. Notoriety has its upside. It gives me a security argument for traveling on a $25,000 an hour Air Force jet instead of being forced to fly commercial. In 2017, I got married for a third time to the improbably young and attractive, and mellifluously named Louise Linton. The ethics people advised against using an Air Force jet for our honeymoon flight to Scotland. But you know what? Most of the time no one's really looking, and it turns out to be pretty easy to have the taxpayers foot the bill. There's been a lot of turnover in this administration. I'm not concerned. I'm the guy who raised $169 million to put Donald Trump in the White House. I continue to make myself personally useful to the president whenever I can. Take that business about his taxes. The law says the IRS shall turn over a president's tax returns if Congress asks. I had my lawyers reinterpret the law. Now it lets the Treasury Secretary decide whether we have to turn them over. I decided we don't. This president remembers stuff like that. It's all part of the job. All in a day's work for me and my team here at the United States Department of the Treasury.